alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. You all may be seated. I hope the ones that spoke before me made a way for me to come and speak with you all today. How many of you here have some kind of concern about the way that you see I'm doing things? Let me see by the raising your hands. All right, one. I thought I would speak on that today because I have found out from doing this that a man does what he thinks. If he can't think it, he can't do it. And if you're doing it and you haven't thought of it, you're doing it because someone else thought of it and is directing you into what you're doing. Whatever emotion you're doing is coming from someone's thought if it's not yours. Now, if we're building a nation, we're not doing this because there is no nations. There are many nations. It's written about in the Bible, it's prophesied. There will be many nations that would adhere to this. So we're not building just any old nation. And what has happened up until I actually showed up myself is that everyone has been talking about me, leading you to me in your thinking. They couldn't lead you directly to me because they didn't know where I was at. So in your thinking, they were to lead you to me, and not the physical me, and to the plan and the idea and the formula that I use. And if it works for me, it most certainly will work for you. I hope you all listen today, and I most certainly will give you, and those of you that have a concern about the way I'm doing things, if you don't, if you may have it before I'm finished, we have a mic there. I'll be more than happy to speak with you. How many of y'all saw Fred Price this morning? Nobody? You know, you all, I think I've said this more than once concerning this particular brother. I usually look at him on Sunday mornings because he's about the only black man I know that's doing any type of teaching. Although he's missing a few keys, he's still teaching. If you're wise, you can always look at someone of that caliber and confirm what you know or learn more than what you know. Is that clear? Well, up until now, whatever you heard or whatever you know, in order for us to be successful in being independent, there has been no place for you to be independent. I don't care how much knowledge you get. I don't care how much you hear about Allah, how many times you pray a day. When you get up, you got to go to the man that has provided the activity for you. That's the devil. So it don't make no difference how much you know. This is why most people that do have a grievance with me and what I'm doing and how I'm doing it is usually because we haven't grown enough to employ you in your activity, in your thinking, and in your activity. So you come and listen and you get the good feeling and you know it's right. You know that you know that you know is right. And when you leave, you got to leave all of this right and go to the wrong. Is that right? Well, if we're ever going to put a stop to that or draw a clear, decisive line, how are you going to do it? Did you think that I would float down from the sky and say, presto, all this with me on this side and all this not on the left side? You look at me and say, this man is crazy. Because you would have nothing to support that type of activity. You on this side and then do what? Drink milk and honey? After you get a couple glassfuls of that and 2 or 3 spoonfuls of honey, then what you gonna do? I'm saying that because in order for it to be a real nation or a real option, the things that at least that you need, not necessarily what you want, however, what you need, you have got to provide it. Your enemy is not going to do it for you. It's against his longevity for him to make you successful. So if I come up, I say, well, listen, when it finally gets to me, first we send minor prophets, then major prophets. And at the last time, the last one, the seal of the prophets and messengers. We raised him up. We didn't send him, we raised him up. And we told him to say thus and so. Regardless of what anyone says, this is what you say. And they won't be able to deny nothing you say. And don't get hung up on whether they like you or not. Forget that. I love you. They can't do nothing for you. I can make you live forever. Now you go and you speak for me. And you let them know this is what is expected of them when I do show up. You don't have to build a nation. However, you must be the message. You must be it, not know it. You got to be it. So when you speak, you are speaking from what you are living, not what you read in the history books. And that presentation alone, everyone that has the nature in them to want to be right, they'll come. And then when they come, you let them know if they hold on and study their lessons and look at what's happening with them in the past and the present and what's being promised to them in the future, if they got any good sense at all, if they couple it with their nature of righteousness, they will be waiting for me. Now, we're not going to play the effects of our enemy cheap. Everything that you know, except Elijah. Everything else, he told you. That's right. And so, since he wouldn't tell you about Elijah because that's true, he never even talks about it. Never talked about him when he was here present. When he did, he spoke of him as though this is a man that's radical, although I give him the highest respect. If he was like Jim Jones and everybody else, white folks would have been talking about it. Now, they wrote it in the Bible just before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, or the coming of Allah. I will send you Elijah the prophet. Elijah didn't write that. It was there before I came. Now, he did what he was raised up to do. He delivered the message. We got quite a few that was in the country that are still living today that heard the message. But since it was only a message, and that's like the knowledge of your mother, it's not the knowledge of your father. And then your mother goes away and leave you alone for you to practice on what she taught you. You got a wicked stepmother, usurping what your mother taught you. The white man, the white woman, the white race. If you want a degree, you got to go to their school. If you want to be a scientist, you still got to go. Whatever you want to do, you got to go see them. Not that it was wrong. However, we could be using this as a filtering system. You all sleepy? I hope you listen. And the reason why I'm saying this is because if you don't listen, you're going to lose. I ain't asking nobody to follow me. I'm not asking you to follow me. I am to develop you. If you don't want to develop, fine with me. I mean, for real, for real, for real. I can't sit nobody there. I didn't come and ask you for no money. I'm not jumping up and down for you to leave your wife. I'm not asking you to do any of those things. I'm not asking you to show me your bank account. I said, everybody that wants to be with me, and if you want to be wholeheartedly and full, complete all the time, 24/7. Well, it was a question asked by the messenger himself as to what I asked him to ask you. What would you give to see this day? What would you give? What would you give? You were so dumb at the time you couldn't answer, so I answered for you. And it looks like the intelligence level hasn't raised that far. If it had, this place would have been packed and jammed. It would. The answer is, I will give all that I have and all that is within my power. So when you come all the way in, and you don't have to pay no more bills, you don't have to do anything but keep your word that you want to help build this nation. You're going to be responsible for your part. So if this is true, I make sure you eat, I make sure you have clothes, I make sure you have a place to stay. Anything else you earn from your own behavior. Now, this is a nation being developed. Since we are already in a nation that's living, viable, but it's a wicked one. If you want to be righteous, where are you going to do it at? Where are you going to do it? The Quran has been here over 1,400 years, or close to that. It wasn't written for us. The man that it came through was Caucasian. And all of the language of it is directly pointed at a nature that is not ours. So that's to the Caucasian. How come they never accepted it? Almost 1,400 years. So you're in a nation, and you want to know, well, why must you all be so particular? Why have you got to be so picky? Are you making the buttons on the shirt? Are you making the yarn that puts the button on the shirt? Are you making the shirts? Are you making the shoes and the shoelaces? Are you making your beautiful earrings? Are you making your contact lens? What the hell are we making? You see? So you're in a nation, but you're talking about you want a righteous one. Who's going to produce it? The wicked man? No. If he would have, he would have done it. He had 6,000 years to do it. He hasn't produced it. Now, since I come, I didn't sneak up on you. I did not sneak up on you. I even gave the description of myself how I would appear when I come. So I don't care when you look at me, how you look, and from where you look, you are not going to find nothing wrong when you look at me. You're not. So all this wicked thinking you have in your mind, and all these fallacies that you think you see in me, check where it's coming from. You check where it's coming from. Who would be the most interesting being to Satan in and on the planet if it's not Allah himself? If I know that you have the power to change the world, however the world don't know it, and I'm running everything, what I'm going to do is try to isolate you to make sure the world never finds out. If they don't know, they can't serve, they can't participate if they don't know. Am I saying something wrong? I'm just saying something you don't like. Well, some of you don't. You know, sometimes I sit home and I think I have already read all of the scriptures before I open my mouth publicly to say one word. I checked it for myself to make sure that there's nothing incriminating or something that I'm missing. So when I do stand before you, you won't find no wrong. If you could, it would nullify my existence, especially me. Personally, it would nullify it. So if I'm teaching you to check everything, don't you think I would check me first? It would be insane for me to check everybody else, and I have to check myself. I wouldn't wait, put my suit on and everything, and then come here and then check my suit and see if I got it on right, standing in front of you. I make sure I do that when no one sees me, except the ones that are close to me. I make sure it's right. Now, if something is wrong and I don't know it, you point out, I will correct it right in front of you. I hope you all are listening. I really do. You might say, well, Brother Solomon, you're being very arrogant. I don't think so. Most people, whether they're with me or not, call me Father. Father this, Father that, Father, Father, Father. Not mother, not messenger, not prophet. Father. Very simple name, but it's dynamite. Anytime you get in any type of trouble, if you're a child, if you're in your growing years, and your father has proved to be a man, whatever is stumping you, you always go to your father and say, Father, so and so and so and so is taking place. I need help. And the father said, don't worry about it, son. You go see so and so and so and tell him I sent you. Or he takes care of it himself. So therefore, leaving the son or the daughter always feeling secure. You think about it. There is no one that is doing what I'm doing. And there's no one saying what I'm saying. The one that we made pronounced, Minister Farrakhan, not Minister Lewis, but Minister Farrakhan, we made him pronounced. He's not doing what I'm doing. He's not saying what I'm saying because he don't know how. And I can speak about him anytime I get ready and however I please because I made him. He didn't make me. And now he's become one of our worst enemies as far as you being attracted to something else other than what is absolute or the formula of what's absolute, whether you like it or not. If you're with him, you're doing nothing but selling bean pies and papers. If you ask you, is 1 plus 1 3, you may say yes. And then argue about it. There is no nation being built. There's no nation being built. However, I'm saying this, and you can go tell any one of them or him all that you have given him, since it's for the advancement of yourself, to someone that is supposed to make it right for us as a righteous nation. It will be used by me and us. And that's also prophesied he would turn it over to me, not you, because you don't trust yourself. However, I don't care how hard you look at me, and because we still give you the ability to roll your eyes, you still can't see nothing wrong. You'll see something you don't like. Don't no boy speak like this. I'm saying this because you need to know this. And not just to you all that are sitting in the audience, to those many people that will be listening on the tapes. You'd be surprised how many people write for their exes from me that we never see. They've heard a tape. And those of you that don't know me, and if you get the tapes, you will learn something that you need to know for the time. If you have knowledge and it don't fit the time, your knowledge can't do you no good. It cannot do you any good. How many of you all are just now seeing me for the first time? Raising of your hand. Oh, really? Well, I don't intend to come off harsh, but this is something I haven't been doing since yesterday. I'm fighting ignorance. And if I fight it in a personal way, I would take it personal. And all of you all would be dead. So Satan would still win. He would still be off in the corner laughing at me, although he know he's going. right after he finished laughing. But I won't have nobody with me. How many of you all think we need a righteous nation? For all of you all that don't think we need it, or you all advocates of Satan, or you devil worshippers, or what? Maybe you think we already got one. You're so afraid to be your own nature. And you know the worst person on the planet is black. So it means his disciples has got to be black. The best ones. That's why in the message, it was told that anytime a black man turns negative, he's 7 times worse than the white man. Because the white man is put on a track. He's limited. You, black man, are supposed to be God. Be God, not a God. So it means you have the nature and the potential to rise or go as low as you like until I show up. I got a fire for you. I'm not talking to those ones that want a righteous nation. I'm speaking to those that don't want it. The ones of you that do want it, I'm building just that. And when you come to heaven and you find yourself in the process of building heaven and you find yourself in all these constraints, well, God, I didn't know it was going to be like that. We can't even go to McDonald's. We can't eat a Twinkie. My God, we can't stay up after 11. We can't get the girly channels. I mean, what is this? You should have been back there when Yaakov was making the white man. You know, he made him from you. If you broke the smallest fraction of the law, the penalty was one penalty, death. They killed you. And it got to be so frightening and so impressionable, the sentence, that even in his death, the people that were remaining carried out his laws. And we can bear witness that the people that he made from his ideas did last 6,000 years. And now, the time is up, and we got children trying to play God. You brothers have read all this stuff about Isis, Horus, Mother Africa, and you just think you just know it. When it is written, prophesied, this last one that to come, the one that would actually show up and be God himself, would have to have a knowledge that you don't have. You can't even think of it. Your eye has never seen it. And your ear most certainly has never heard it. Well, if I could ever get past this battle of fighting this ignorance, you might hear a few things from me that bear witness that I am the man. However, if I give the instructions not to give my pearls to swine, why should I give my knowledge of that you haven't heard, seen, to those that don't want it? You go ahead and make mockery of it because you don't understand it. This is the problem God has. I'm telling you my problem with you. Although the time is set, you can't change it. Before the messenger passed, I think next to one of the last publications he put out, the title of it under Muhammad speaks, the die is set. And then he left, laughing at Wallace. The time is set. And if you're so wise, change it. Delay it a second. Bring it on before it's time a second. Now, if you got a nation better than what I got, I most certainly will be with you. And I will be your most dedicated worker. Your most dedicated worker. And you don't have to ask me twice. If I said I'm with you, I mean exactly what I say. I am with you. If you come and say, Brother Solomon or Brother Royall, we need thus and so done. If I don't know how to do it, I'll make it plain. I don't know how to do that. However, if I have time to learn, I most certainly will, and will do it. I know everyone had to write their letter. It's called a Savior's letter. And you had to write it exactly the way it was given to you to be wrote. Not all your I's, cross your T's, everything had to be just so. And if you did not do it that way, you were rejected. I wrote it, sent it in, they sent it back. Didn't pass. I like to have 900 fits. I thought somebody in the secretarial department had something personally against me. I said, I'm going to write it again. Immediately, I sat down and wrote it again. And I added a note in it with it. I don't care if you have something for me to do in the North Pole, and I hate cold. I'll go. I meant exactly what I said. The letter passed. And I don't know of any lie that I've told an official in the messenger's time, or any official now, or any person now. I've said many things that needed to be understood. A lot of times I thought you understood. Then when the comeback comes back, I said, what? They didn't understand that? I had to go back and clear it up. One brother just said here very recently, I thought you said it was going to be 21 days and 3 weeks, and everybody with the minister would be gone. I never said that. The request was, take the veil. Would I remove the veil? I said, within 21 days, it will be done. And if anybody can stay there after that, they're a better man than me. That's what I said. The veil is lifted. I didn't say nobody had to leave. However, your enemy taught you. So you think the way he taught you to think. And as a man thinketh, so is he. So he made you think that you know. Ain't no black man know more than me. I can speak 10 languages. God's coming speaking English. Them other 9 is unnecessary. Do you think you know? If you know so much, how come you don't know as much as the man that taught you? You didn't jump up knowing it. Somebody taught you. Now, if I'm God, I got to teach you something greater than what you have been taught. And it has to. It must agree with your very nature. And it can't be taught. And then I send you back out with the man of sin. I got to have a nation, an activity that you can actually put into motion of what you're being taught so you can see it and it gives you independence. And even the enemy that's looking on has got to buy witness to himself and say, I can't touch this because I can't find nothing wrong with it. And if I come up against it, I know God better than they do. I know what he'll do to me. But no, you still think that, hey, can't be. This is somebody else coming up. You still waiting for Jesus. He's in the clouds. We've had clouds for trillions of years. We ain't found him yet. You know, that was in the lessons also. We searched for this mystery God for trillions and trillions and trillions of years. And we have now decided that he don't exist. So hey, I'm not saying nothing now that you don't know. I'm bringing it to your attention. There is a need for a righteous kingdom, for a righteous nation, not a righteous business. You've got to be operating in such a way where the earth yields her fruit to you, not just your woman. Because your woman ain't your woman. She went to the same school you did. She belonged to the white man. Now, if you don't think so, the brothers that come with me and start to adopt their own nature, the biggest problem they get is their wife. Right away, she want to say, what? And then if the brother is really standing up and have no knowledge, you see him start to melt like the snow. And then you don't see him anymore. He disappears. And you see his wife walking around wearing his pants. However, the nation still has to be built. Who's going to do it? Her? If she made her mind up, she would do it. However, she's been taught by our enemy. And it's well documented. When the messenger was asked, or J. Edgar Hoover asked Master Farad Muhammad, what are you here for? After he found out who he is, he wasn't for him. What are you here for? He said, I'm here to get the black woman and the white man off the back of the black man. Did you hear what I said? It hasn't changed. It hasn't changed. You might say it has because you got one wife. If you stand up being God, this means you have to protect all of the women, especially the black one. But you know what you find out? They'll come and tell you to your face, I don't want you to protect me, nigga. I got my protection. And don't you even try. I hope you listen. Because this is not a man. We had two speakers come before you before I came up here to let you know what to expect in the person of myself when I came before you. I'm letting you know what the problem is. I didn't ask you to help me with the destruction. I didn't ask you. I didn't ask you to help set the time or the clock for the destruction. I didn't ask you. I am asking you to accept the opportunity to be God again in a nation that's your nature, where nobody else can claim that but you. The brown man ain't gonna help you be no black God. The yellow man sure is not gonna help you. And the red man's waiting on you, and the white man wants to make sure that you don't be God. He got everything in place. So if you think that I'm out of my mind, well, you bring me another mind that's better than this one, and I'll accept it. It has to be better. Don't bring me no words. These are things that you should be speaking to yourself about. You might say, well, you wanted to have a little entertainment. I can do that. And I will be doing it after we get a firm foundation. No one likes entertainment better than me. I like to laugh. I look at comic strips sometimes. They're being funny from what their teacher taught them. But that's not them. And the way that they tell the jokes, you can tell it's not them. They're making fun at how stupid the man is that taught them. It's just that they don't have no other place to go. They're not God yet. They can't build nothing yet. So they waiting on the God. Like you all were. And some of you still are. Waiting. God comes and says, all right, well, this is what we do by nature. Since you are physical, we got to have food, clothing, and shelter. In order for me to make sure that you have an understanding and a real knowledge of what you have, I got to provide this for you. Are you with me? Some of you say, yes, God. And you come out and we start to make this heaven. And in your mind, you thinking that people is picking on you. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. What I have for you is absolute burdenless life forever. No burdens. And the ability to constantly create forever because there is no end of space. That's what I have for you if you want to live. If you don't want to live, this is what I have for you. A fire that's hot enough to burn your entity up. Where you are destroyed, it won't be no more you ever again. The power to influence others against this. We have a state that's called Ohio, and we're placing them there. I'm going to raise it up 6 miles. I know that don't make sense to you because you can't raise 10 cents. I'm talking about raising the state up 6 miles, the state of Ohio. So you will be in the deepest part of the fire since the fire is coming from up down, like the Quran reads. You dedicated hypocrites, you Satan worshippers and followers, I'm putting you on there and putting you in the deepest part of the fire. So that's what I have for you. You can't tell me that because you never knew it. And if you did, you heard it from me. So that's something you didn't hear. And you don't have the intelligence yet to even fathom that that can be done. So you can put a limitation on God. It's comical, but it's not. How many of you all here are already with me? How many of you all here has the tape protecting Satan? Oh, really? How many of you all have studied it? How many can bear witness that that particular tape is profound? You know what I find? It's not that I found it. It is still bearing witness to itself. Everything is still going in a circular motion. You can be up to date, be ever so righteous. Go to sleep and wake up and be ever so devilish. You know, me, the God himself, frequently experiences this from you. If it was just myself, maybe I could tolerate it because I could change myself. Each and every one of you all are a single individual. Just because 5 people is up to date, it don't mean that 5 is going to be up tomorrow. Although you wish. So I decided to let you know exactly, precisely what's trapping you up. Now, all of you brothers and sisters that think that you're so powerful, master Satan. Forget me. Leave me out of the equation. Just forget it. Take the tape, listen to it, and master it. And if you want to know if you master it, whenever you speak to someone outside of your own person, and they don't pull you up on something, you master it. Now, how many of you have that heard that tape, heard something you never heard of or even thought of before? Mm-hmm. I'm quite sure you all have heard these professors, scientists, people that is supposed to be renowned for their knowledge. Is that right? I'm not even known hardly. And there's at least one person here hope that I never get known. But that's just one. You know, it's a wonderful thing when you can come home and the children have actually learned what the mother has taught them. They may be a little devilish, but they be devilish in a confined area. They don't go over the line. They may go just enough to make you kind of raise your voice at them. That lets you know that they're adventurous, but they're respectful. They like what their mother has taught them. And the mother has taught them the proper fear of their father. The proper fear of their father. So they venture out a little bit, but they don't go so far. And when the father comes home and he sees it, he says, my children are really great. They're not afraid to venture out some. However, they know not to cross the line. That's wonderful. Especially if you're doing something for learning. And most children do things bad just to be taught. Some of you all come to the meeting, act all crazy, just to see what I'm going to say. Because you think, hey, the people that came before you, I don't heard all that. What you going to say? If I do break out and say what I really want to say, you don't even know what I said. And you're not going to go home like you come home from the preacher and say, oh, he preached a good sermon. You just going to leave, it was over my head. I don't know what he was talking about. Are you all listening to me? Well, we have got the nation in operation. From what I can understand, we got a small snack shop here. Everything starts small and humble. There is nothing that you know of that is real from nature that started off big. Nothing. Anytime we want to go to another planet or develop that planet, in such a way that it is now ready for high intelligence, which would be the human being or the being for that planet, which is us. We don't just reside on this planet here. All the planets that we have made, they're in a set plan. The only thing that is not set is your ability to think. So therefore, when it gets ready for you, it's like making a cake. You put everything together. You put the necessary heat to it. And you don't eat it. You don't take it right out and just go to eating it. It's got to cool. However, the cake is there to serve the eater. Is that right? Well, if the planet is the same way, we get the planet and we shape it and mold it and put it together. Now, before it gets time for the intelligence that has the ability to go back or forth, up or down, in or out, meaning that you are flexible. Before that happens, we put an atom in that planet to start to prepare the physical body for this high intelligence. We're doing the same thing here. I am actually doing another creation out of you that has been made nothing. I hope you listen. I hope you listen. I hope you listen, because you can't do nothing with this or nothing about it other than accept it. If you don't accept it, you finish. So you may as well go ahead and just whoop it up, holler it up, drink it up, dope it up, do whatever you want to do up. Because you finished. Time is up. It's over, done, through. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be here. My name wouldn't be Royall. I wouldn't be a twin. I wouldn't be named Solomon. A style is that. My title wouldn't be a law. I said you don't like it, but you can't prove that it ain't. You can't prove it. You might say, well, you can't prove that it is. I just did. You take what you hear and you apply math to it. Allah is He that is singular. Royall is singular. Solomon is singular. Joshua is singular. The Lamb is singular. Not Jesus Christ. Not Minister Louis Farrakhan. Not Jesse L. Jackson. Not Warwick Dean Muhammad. Singular. Allah is one. You can't find nothing on me other than that. Right and exact. It's got to start from one. So I'm dealing with you all to make you the same way. So I can no longer just be one. I can at least advance to 9. Hope you listen. Because I'm speaking to more than just you. However, since quite a few of you all are here from heaven, and because you're building heaven, and because of the meticulous activity that you have to constantly do over and over and over, you got to keep this in your thoughts. You have got to. If you let it slip out, Satan's already there. He don't have to come. He's already there. As I'm speaking with you now, he's talking to you at the same time. He's crazy. I'll never be with him. You're crazy to be with him. Look at him. What nation he gonna start that's gonna be powerful enough to take this nation down? I'm speaking as he speaks to you. But at the same time, you go to church and you jump up and down and talk about, if you just had the faith of a mustard seed, you can move the mountain. The faith. The faith. It didn't say the knowledge. And then the Bible says, my people lose their life for the lack of knowledge. It ain't saying about no mustard seed. So you got a bunch of double talk there. The next time I speak, I think I'm going to speak in Baltimore, Maryland, Easter Sunday. My topic is going to be dedicated to the Quran. I'm going to go into it so you will see it for what it is, why it is, and why it was. And when I finish with it, it's going to be just as great or greater than protecting Satan. You must know, black man. You have got to know. You got to quit running around here thinking that you are this and you are that. You are nothing until you are made something. And the knowledge that you've been receiving until you got to me hasn't made you anything. It may have made preparation or prepped you for being something, but that's as far as it got. And the only person that did that was the messenger. The message got you ready, but it didn't make you God. So all of the ones of you all that hear this tape, that was with the messenger, and you think that you are sticking only with him, maybe you should go live with him. He's passed. I don't think y'all heard me. The message is the message. It is not the teaching. The messenger himself said, after me comes God himself, and he will teach you real Islam. I have not even scratched the surface of it. And what he will teach you will be nothing like what I'm telling you. But most of you all that are young people, that's with the hip hop and all this kind of stuff, don't know nothing about the message, because by the time you came along, Satan want to make sure that you will never develop an ear for this. So since he's a man of always discovering things, he went and looked into. That's why he put 10 speakers in the car, roll up all the windows, and turn it up all wide open. The car be sitting there, the light vibrating, the windows were pulsating, and you sitting in there rocking. But that's intelligence. But don't tell me you didn't. You didn't. The righteous people didn't do that. We didn't produce that. We got an earth here weighing 6 killion tons. You can't hear it move. If you don't look at your made man watch, you don't even know what time it is. But you know it's moving. If it stopped moving, then it wouldn't be no time. You think about it. So the man made sure, and those of you that's with the messenger, you think that your loyalty to the messenger and the message is so dedicated. You got to be so dedicated that you can't accept or you can't see further than the messenger. You're going to lose. You're going to lose. I don't know how to tell you no other way. You're going to lose. I shall not be here. And you be in my face. And you're going to tell me that mother is greater than father. You can forget that. It is mother that took on the name of father, not father took on the name of mother. It is the father that gave you to mother. So you're not going to come and tell me in my face that mommy is greater than you, daddy. And I'm saying, look, boy, mama's been gone 20-some years. You ain't grown up yet. Look like to me, she raised somebody for me to kill. I'm her husband. Meaning I was here before you got here. I impregnated her with you. And you're going to come up, Johnny come late and tell me what is and what isn't? You don't know anything of me. Only what your mother told you. But you never saw me. So you claim everything that mother did as though mother did from her own self. She didn't. Her husband backed her up. We're doing the same thing today. We're building this kingdom. We have a couple of people that are with me. I know that they're not going to leave. Because I can see in their heart they love what they do. Although corrections may be a bit bitter sometimes. You know, when you go to a person, are you listening? Are you listening? When you go to a person that hears complaints constantly, for a good example, go to traffic court. To you, you only ran the light. To you. Maybe you didn't. It was yellow. The officer wrote you a ticket. He said you ran the light. You said, well, I'm going to fight it. I'm not paying it. You go to court. The judge is so disgusted. I mean, he just thoroughly from his bone, the marrow of his bone, he's just so disgusted with this way of life. But he's making money. He don't even want to talk to you. I don't even want to see him. Look, get a court-appointed lawyer. I'll talk to him. I don't want to talk to him. He's just disgusted. I want you to think. What made him disgusted? Because he don't see you as the one ticket. There's been 10 million people came before him, crazy. Ran the light, come up with all a bunch of lies. So here you come. You really didn't run the light, but you got to take it. So you come before the judge, you don't even want to look up at you. Pay fine. He's sick of you. So when you go to a person and they're going to correct you, what will be wise for you to do? When you're going to be corrected, you take your corrections with an upbeat spirit, with a smile, not with conviction that I've been convicted. I'm talking about in heaven. And your brothers and sisters that's not in heaven, however, you're striving to get there or to contribute towards this. If you come to me and say, well, Father, and I hear complaints all the time. All the time. Even when you're not even talking to me, you're sitting there looking at me. I'm looking at your complaints. And please don't let me read your mind. I may get up and start to fight you. You listen. So when you go and the person is telling you, you know better than that. Why did you do it? And you think, my God, you don't have to be that harsh. Why is he speaking to me like that? They're not talking to you. They're speaking to a system that's wearing them down. You represent that system. Rebelliousness. When Elijah was here, your rebelliousness, not white folks. We had to take him or he passed from the weight of the black man. Hard-headed, stiff-necked, and rebellious. It took him away. Not that you had the power to do it, but this is what we said. Elijah, we're not going to let you suffer that insult anymore. Come on. Let them eat of their own sin. Let's go. So we took it. And look what happened to you. If you were so wise, you was the messenger's number one top man. Sold 3,000 Muhammad speaks per day. You were the scientist, being scientist. You were the origin of W.D. Muhammad. Where's your nation? What have you got to prove where your wisdom is? You the people I got to work with. You know what white people say when I start talking with them? They stop. First they just listen and they start grinning and whatnot. And then when they say, this man is serious. Whoa, wait a minute. They start listening. They start listening with respect. They don't listen with that silly look some of y'all have on your face. They don't listen that way. Like, white people, if they didn't come to mess you up, they don't even deal with nothing like this. They're too busy trying to figure out how to get to Mars. Because they know the end was up in 1914. They try to get someplace other than Earth. That's right. And the best that they could do, they got a place that's called Down Under. They didn't name that as a nickname. They actually built a city for the express purpose of getting the hell away from you and the destruction. Because the destruction is coming because of you. Not that you are bringing it. However, because of you, because of your seed, because of your ability, black man, not the woman. And because as long as he's here, you will never witness it. So we got to get rid of him because of you. So he says, look, we can't master this, man. And we have to bear witness ourselves. We don't have no real knowledge. We don't have no real knowledge. I was reading in the paper or in a book of what the white man wrote. He said, you listen? Just the mere fact of mankind having a telephone bears witness that he's incapable of communicating. I'll say it again another way. This man is going out in space, not just up in the air, but out in space. He still uses the phone. And he himself says, to bear witness that we are incapable of communicating with each other. You know, they can't do as much as the giraffe. Giraffe don't make no sound. But we're supposed to be wiser than the giraffe. They communicate with each other. But he can't communicate with his brother standing right next to him. So he makes a phone that bears witness. Are you listening? You might say, well, that don't mean nothing. You better think again. You better think again. Now, if all these things exist, what are we going to do to make sure that we can live and don't be charged for the same thing? If I'm God, I got to teach you how to tune in. We taught Jesus, so it's easy to teach y'all. However, we only teach the people that want it. Not just want tuning in. They got to want the whole package. So that's why I don't have no followers. You be with me of your own self. If you don't want to be with me, to hell with you. To hell with you. You don't have to go. You're already here. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you think hell is a nice place, keep these. Matter of fact, pray and say, well, Brother Solomon, I want to live. I will make sure you live so you will bear witness that hell is not a good place before you leave. There's so many things I'd like to tell you today. I wanted to speak about that because everyone that comes with me comes because of what they see or what they want. Then when you get with me and you find out it's not the way you thought it was going to be, it would be best if you found out how you should see it, even if you still must leave. If you're going to leave with that wicked idea in your mind that something was wrong and then go kill someone else that's right on the brink of coming themselves, then your style is death because you're keeping someone from being saved. Every tub got to sit on its own bottom, not you sit on it for them. Every tongue will confess. Oh, yes, it will confess. Whether you like it or not, it's going to confess. And every knee will bend. You're going to bow. If you live in, you're going to bow. It's not you're going to be stretched out. And if you go the way that I suggested for you to go, you're going to be burnt up. Cremated. You might say, well, Father, I haven't heard you speaking like this before. I just felt like it because you need it. Well, I got some unruly children. And you keep throwing up in my face as though there's someone more powerful than me. You haven't seen my power yet. Just because 4 or 5 inches of snow come and go a couple of days, you think, well, God did that. But you don't know who God is. You know it ain't you because you didn't do it. And it's getting closer and closer to D-Day. Oh, if you only knew. You say, well, Brother Solomon, why don't you tell me? I would love to tell you. It'd be like trying to tell. That's the way I see it today. Some of you are those that already know I'm not speaking with you. But those of you that are here and that hear this tape and feel that you got to hear something new, when I'm speaking to you, this is what I see. If I'm God, I got to see it. Whether I say anything about it or not, I got to see it. What sense would it be for me to teach my 2-year-old son how to drive a standard shift? He can't reach the pedals. I'm going to teach him that. I'd be wasting my time. Wouldn't you think so? So these suggestions that you asked me to do, if I were to do it, I'd be wasting my time. You need to know this. A righteous nation has to be built. Who's going to build it? We can all bear witness it does not exist. Is that right? Well, if we're building a righteous nation, upon what knowledge are we going to use to build it? Can we build it with the same knowledge that the wicked one operates on? Has anyone came before me that had the knowledge to build it? So your attitude towards me should be wonderful. It should be just the way it reads. Wonderful Counselor, Prince of Peace, And to be the Prince of Peace, I got to be the master of confusion. Master in such a way that I eliminate. Because as long as you're confused, you don't have no peace. So just the fact, that title, being the peacemaker, black man, wake up. Wake up. And those of you that are with me, and you have these sisters and wives and mothers that is condemning you and making you think how crazy you are for being with me, you got to remember, they are not God and never will be. They are not held responsible for building nothing. They're held responsible for dealing with babies until they get to be children. That's all. And being a comfort to you. So you can't charge them if the nation needs bill. You can't say, well, my wife didn't let me. Maybe that ain't your wife. If she's not for this and you are for it, it's not your wife. She's the wife of Satan. So let Satan have her. And it's not like I'm going to quit. If she ever changes her mind and makes her mind up to come back and get her sense and be right, we ain't going no place. We have magnified. We're not going to stop it. I drove from Washington, D.C. all the way here. Everywhere I go, mostly I drive because I'm with myself. I don't have to take Satan with me as a partner. I give myself enough time and I do that until I start using my own ships. Then I'll be operating such knowledge, I won't be speaking this. I don't even want to remember it, let alone speak it. I hope you listen. I hope you listen. I don't even have 2 years left to make the nation independent. I don't have it because of Minister Farrakhan and you all. Because he spoke ill to white folks about white folks, you jumped up and down and thought, oh, he's my man. What you got? Nothing. Incense, a bean pie, and a fine call in your house. And he goes on a world tour. Friendship. Didn't find no friends. If you're not friends with me, you don't have no friends, period. Like it or lump it. I'm speaking today just as what you need. I am love, I am that. But I love right. And if you challenge right, I don't back down from it. If you're going to stay in my face and continue doing it, I'm going to win. You're going to lose. We just lost one sister. She must be some brother's wife in here. That's not with me. The brother is, she ain't. I don't let my children tell me what to do. However, I will take advice from them if they're right. They may have seen something I didn't see. Or if they come and tell me in a way where what they're saying is authority, and I better listen. Well, son, I was listening. But you just messed up. You see? If you were allowed, what would you do? If you were allowed, what would you do? Serve your wife? Or would you serve nature that produced you and your wife? What would you do? If a situation, a divine situation, comes up, makes itself manifest, that you, in order for you to experience peace, that you have to develop something that is not here. And you're not going to find no help to help you. You are lying. What you going to do? You go mining for diamonds. When you get the diamond out of the ground, it don't look like nothing. Is that right? It don't look like nothing. You got to take that shell off. And beneath the shell is the prize. So it's the same thing with you, black man. Black man. And when we raised the messenger up, we had a message to the black man. We didn't even include the woman. Ain't no need to include her. If the black man ain't gonna get himself together, she's doomed. So most of the brothers running around still having their wife up as though they're the ones that's running the house. It's the white man running your house through your wife. Here I come. I'm a black man. I am the all in all. I am Allah, whether you like it or don't. It'd be better for you if you did like it. And I'm jumping up and down, foaming at the bit to share with you the keys to make you the master of whatever you want to master. No limitations. No limitations. But what is it about right that turns you off? Is it because when you start doing it, there's no place to perform it without being condemned by the man of sin? That is a fact, you know. So if I produce a place for you to go and practice right, and he can't touch you, what's wrong with that? It would be better if you never knew what's right and don't have no place to practice it. That's why we said in the last days God would come. Because if he was here, he'd be constantly nagging you, that ain't right, this is what you're supposed to do, this, and you'd be, oh my God, you'd be pulling your hair out at your wit's end. So he left you alone with your enemy. So if you became wise as the serpent, not wise as man, if you became as wise as the serpent, you would make it in this life. However, the serpent has a short lifespan. You think about it. He has a short lifespan. Matter of fact, in the Bible, he starts off as a serpent. However, because the time expired for him to have authority over you, and then you start coming alive because of the message, then you have to change from being a serpent and go to a dragon. To look big and breathe fire at you. So it scare you to death. So you still think, I'm too little. I can't fight City Hall. Anybody ask you to fight City Hall? We ask you to build a nation. And if you come and build it, nobody. Are you listening? Nobody. No one. No human being has the power to usurp my authority and power to protect you. I'll say it again. It don't make no difference who hears this, why they hear it, what they use to stop you. Once you accept being yourself in your place that's provided for you by and from me, there is nothing can happen to you. Nothing. I don't care what they say or do. If you're with me, can nothing happen. You can owe the IRS $10 billion. If you're with me and you're really with me, they just say, more power to you. I'm going to open the floor up for a couple of questions for a couple. I'm not answering no smart-ass questions. I'm not dealing with no unruly children. Believe me, I'm not. And you don't want me to do that. Because you don't know. I spank you when you don't know you're being spanked. However, when the sting is over, you got a sting that lasts you for a month. Now, we got evidence of this in a people. You know, before we were brought here, the Caucasians found the Indian already here. 16,000 years he's been spanked. And if he don't accept me, he's going to perish. So don't play this cheap. Don't play it cheap. So if you got a question, if it's legit, even if it's a question that you think that's offensive, and you still want to ask it, there's a way you can ask it and don't be offensive. But if you're going to show me all your attitude and all your dislike, don't come to the mic. Don't come to the mic. I spoke in Chicago, Illinois. I think it was September the 17th, 1995. I think I spoke a year before that in 94. Munir and his people came. They all sat down. They must have been about a good 20, 25 of them. Took up 2 or 3 rows. And just about the time I got in and started speaking, they all got up and left. simultaneously in order. But they broke the order. That's to show me I can't stand your guts. The next year in 95, I made it clear before I opened the mic up, and I hope you listen. I called him by name. I said, I hope you hear. And I just pray you get up and do the same thing you did last year. And when you do, before you leave the mic, you're going to need a wheelchair. You remember? Y'all remember? And if I'm not God, they should call my bluff. And I said, not just him, anybody else that got smart, I was going to get them right at the mic. Wasn't going to be the thing they went home and then they, ooh, I got a headache. No, and don't know where it came from. I can be God the way you think God should be. That's easy. That's very easy. So if you got questions, I'm a man that answers questions, because if you have a question, it should be answered. This is what gives you more power in life. It gives you more evidence, clear evidence. But you're not being me. You're not even claiming to be Allah. I'm not claiming it. I am. So why would you approach me in such a manner as to say, I know you not, so I'm going to show you to your face I disrespect you? Don't do that. At least today, don't do that. Is that understood? Now, I'll answer whatever question you have. Let it be a question. All that other foolishness, I'm not in the mindset of tolerating Satan. I will tolerate you and your ignorance of not knowing something. But don't bring Satan with you to that mic and expect me to accept him because you're a black man and I'm supposed to love you. You can forget that. I'm not accepting Satan. Did you hear that? Should I say it again? I'm going to say it again. I'm not accepting Satan because it's not necessary. If you want to deal with Satan, go to the bar. Go to the juke joint. Go stand on the corner with your friends. Smoke some crack. Go do all those things that Satan does. This is supposed to be a house that you came to be refined in truth. Even if you don't accept it, you're here listening to it. So if you're going to participate in it, make sure you leave Satan out of it. Now, if I wanted to be insulted, I would go to the bar and start talking this. And I did that before. The whole bar got quiet. For real, they did. They started listening, and the white women there, they're all crowded around me like, ooh, this is luscious. And when I realized what was happening, the band had stopped playing. The women had gathered around. I'm sitting at the corner stool on the bar, in the back to the bar. The people that were sitting behind the bar, they were leaning up from the bar and listening at what I was saying. There wasn't no black people in there. No black people in there. When I walked in, they were jamming. You might say white people can't sing. They can on record. If you go in a juke joint and they be getting down, they be doing it. They cut it off. And they started listening. It started from the bartender. May I help you? I said, yes, I want some orange juice. What? I want some orange juice. Then she started asking me questions. I started answering. Then the other people wanted drink. She wasn't giving them drink. They wanted to know what in the world I'm saying to her that's holding her up. So it was a mushroom effect. And before I knew it, the whole bar was over listening to me. The men was behind the women. And the white men were standing there like, they are God. The white man is God. He's a God. You can't take that from him. So he was listening like, yeah, but I'm still a man. But he was listening. So I said, look, I got to go. Well, anything we can get you? Nope, just open up and let me out. And they did just that. You don't think I would lie to you, do you? Well, I didn't. They didn't disrespect me, so I did go to the bar and spoke this. I went to another bar in the truck stop, the food bar. You know, you go sit at the bar and serve you food. This Italian woman came in. I had another brother with me. I said, I'm going to show you something. Watch this. Show you how white people love the truth, but after they get it, they got to say something to put themselves in it, put a slur in it. So watch this. She came over. May I help you? I said, yes. I'd like to have some applesauce, some tea with lemon, and wheat toast. She said, okay. And she went to turn. I said, just a moment. Where are you from? She said, Italy. I said, oh, you're Italian? She said, yeah. I said, oh, I got something to tell you when you come back. She said, tell me now. I said, no, when you come back. You know, I had to get an appetite wet. So she dashed over. She came back. She said, can you tell me now? Somebody else called her. She said, wait a minute. I said, no, you better go wait because it's going to take a little while. She said, you ain't got nothing to tell me. I said, yes, I do. I really got something to tell you. She went and waited on another person, came back. She said, what is it? I ain't going no place until you tell me. I said, you Italian? She said, yes. I said, do you know what that means? I'm familiar. I said, but it has a meaning. Do you know what it means? She said, no. What does it mean? I said, it means I tell you. That's what the Pope of Rome is. He tells everybody how to see God. She said, whoa. She went running on back and told somebody, and then she came back. She said, well, what does Italy mean then? I said, you really want to know? She said, yes. I said, you sure? She said, yeah, I want to know. I said, here it lies. She broke on off, started laughing. Came back and said, well, you were trying to say I was laying in Italy? You see? Right away she took the knowledge and put it into where she wanted to see it. Made it. Only two people that's raising their hands that knew this. So I can't tell you this unless you heard my take. These brothers in here that's read all these history books, whatnot, they can't tell you that. We had Elijah come to say and let us know. The serpent will bruise you on the heel, but Elijah will bruise the serpent on the head. Italy is shaped like a boot. The serpent, that's where he lies at. And from that spot, he's telling everybody what to do in the Christian world. However, when Elijah started, he bust that Christianity in the head. He killed it. But it didn't die. We got any questions? If we have, the mic is open. However, I do want you to understand that we need a nation. That's why if you have okay. We need a nation, and if you don't get nothing else today, this is what you must get. Are you listening? There is no people or person that is bringing about an activity for you to be righteous in or place other than myself. Have you got that? Now, this means that you have to participate if you expect to reap the full rewards of it. You either have to come and put yourself in it. You have to give from yourself. If it's nothing but knowledge. If it's nothing but direction. Telling the people, go there. You will find peace. If you have some money, I'm going to give towards this. Now, if there is someone, not an organization, if there is someone that is producing a righteous nation, let me know. I want to be a part of it. And if you don't let me know and I find out, you and I are going to have to fight. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir, Father. I just found out some information about a brother from heaven.
Yes, ma'am. Richard?
Yes, sir. Last night,
Back up just a little bit off the mic.
myself, and a few other brothers and sisters, we were outside having some outside activity, enjoying ourselves. And he kept sitting to the back, or he wasn't participating in the activity that we had. So when I found out this information, because I thought about it and I picked up on it on the way here, that the brother may have misread what we were doing because we are human. You taught us how to be human. And so we building a nation. However, you also taught us how we can enjoy ourselves. So I was picking up before this information was even shared with me that maybe the brother, maybe we damaged the brother because of him seeing us having fun. And it was clean fun.
What was it?
Oh, we were playing basketball and we was all we had to share the other part. Well, we were racing, running back and forth in a competition, racing with one another. Then we were tagging each other. We were tagging each other. So the brothers took some of the sisters' shoes, and we were trying to get them back from the brothers. TT and myself and some other sisters was trying to get it back from the brothers. So when we got the brothers, we kind of like playfully jacked them up to give us our shoes back. So anyhow, on the way coming here, I was picking up on this brother, and then today here, I heard that the brother packed his things and left. So I was in thought, and I was saying, did we do?
Don't even ask the question. Don't even worry about it. Let him go. The strictness of the law is killing him. In other words, I'm not a tyrant. I don't teach nobody that all work and no play, it's gonna make Johnny a bad boy. I don't do that. In other words, our activity, period, is always conducive to life. There are some times that you have to be more serious than others, and other times when you're not doing things that have to be done, such as a routine thing. It's natural to have humorous fun with each other. Fun. A fun limit is humor. Now, if he wants to live strictly under the law, he's gonna hurry up and find out he can't do that. It isn't time for that. Most of us can't stand up now to the restrictive laws. So if you all, however, this is a sign to let us all know, unless the brothers or sisters that is with us have enough understanding, they will be damaged that way. Yeah. But it is not to stop you. This is why a lot of times the parents will do things amongst themselves and they send the children in another room or send them off because the children will not understand what's taking place. So if that's what happened with your brother, he'll be back. Don't even worry about it. He'll be back.
Yes, sir.
So what he left, what he saw, if it made him think that we were not righteous, now he's showing up going back into things that ain't righteous.
Yes, sir.
So don't even worry yourself with that.
So what I'm getting to do now is don't allow people that just came in to be around us like that.
Right, absolutely. That's what I'm saying today. I said it before, and now I'm starting to actually put it into motion. Most people around us, that's right around me, they've been around me for some time. Any other brothers that's coming up, I don't care how much that they love me and they all fired up, whatnot, I know that's still unreal to them. They haven't done enough. They haven't learned enough. There's not enough practice in life that they've done to really understand what I do, why I do it, and how I do it. And if I stop and tell them everything what I'm doing while I'm doing it and before I do it, it'd be just like what was written about Moses. He wanted to go with the wise man. He kept asking him, he said, look, didn't I tell you don't ask me nothing?
Yeah.
After it was over with, he explained to the man. Well, they will tie you up forever. That's another ploy of Satan. Forget that. Don't even let it rest on your mind. Let it go. He ain't got ain't no doors open. He either play with us or play with Satan and die with Satan. He play with us and live forever. I'm a very humorous person.
Yes,
very humorous.
Yes.
I mean, even white folks themselves telling you laughter is good for the soul. So why in the heck I'm going to keep you all bottled up, tensed up? You got to laugh. You got to be free. I mean, real freedom.
Yes.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Thank you, Father.
Yes, ma'am.
And one more thing, the question was asked to me on the way here. What was the original purpose for oil being produced from the earth? I didn't know. So I know you said ask you things we don't know.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Father. Love you, love you, love you, love you.
Love you too. Walaikum salam. So I'm going to get one question. That's all right. I can go on. Somebody wanted to know why was oil produced, or why does the earth produce oil? Oil works as a lubricant for the earth and its place and the forming of new land. It makes it much easier to make its appearance. It most certainly is not made to be burned as we know it. It pollutes the atmosphere. However, there is another use that we're going to be using it for in the near future. We have been so ignorant so long with our permission. Not that we're ignorant and we're not the master of this. We've been that way so long. When we do turn things around, it's going to be a great asset to us in turning things around to make things pure almost instantly. I will get into that at a later date or at a much more acceptance of knowledge. Is that clear? Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
This is my first time hearing you speak, so I don't intend any disrespect with any of the questions. I just want to actually know. In your speech, you were speaking about how Satan isolates you from and isolates people from the message, and the nation is trying to be produced. Are you saying that Satan has the power to do this to Allah?
No, sir. He don't have the power to do that to me. He can't isolate me from anything. What he does is he works it in you and isolate you from me. See, Satan don't have no power other than what you give him. So when he whispers to you in your thoughts, and you give power to that thought, if the thought is, stay away from him, he ain't no good, the man's crazy, and you give power to that thought, then you isolate yourself from me. In effect, what I do, since I'm independent, it don't really affect me in a sense where it's going to make me do anything different from what I'm doing. So if he can make everybody that way, yes, I'm isolated. I'm isolated from you in that sense. But I have the power and the knowledge to reproduce you at will. So the real loss is not to me, it is to the person that you give power to him.
Okay, but as children who are trying to learn, how would it not be possible to do something to prevent things like that from happening, because we as children do not know?
Right. Oh, absolutely. That's why I have mathematics.
Allah.
Yes, sir. Me being Allah. This is what I have employed to stop that. I've employed mathematical thinking. And I've been put together a place where you can practice this mathematical thinking. And while you're there, the main thing I protect you from is Satan. And that's because you, in your own mind, said this is what you want. Now, everybody that has not accepted me, I don't protect them. I don't protect them. I don't say nobody don't want to be saved. I'd be wasting my time. I burn myself out. If they don't want me, I don't want them. Now, once you say you really want to be with me and what I'm doing, then I start to protect you for you.
What about children who don't know any better?
Well, I don't see children as greater than parents. Because they're a reflection of their parents. So the people that are with me, if you come, bring your children. If you don't have no children, come anyhow. You have children. So I'm not denied. It's written in the Holy Quran and other scriptures and whatnot. I'm not a respecter of person, whether you be a child in the womb or 90 years old. I don't respect that. I don't say, well, that's a little child. I have a system in motion now. It was a man that was here for 40-some years. 40-some years the man was here. He suffered 40 years to make sure that you, as a people, would get the message. So if it was a child then, the child would be 60-some years old now, if they started at the same time the messenger did. You see? Because he's been gone 20-some years. He taught 40-some years. That's 60 years there. So the children that are now coming, if the parents didn't teach them about the message and get them ready for me, well, then I can't use them. I can only let them be fuel for the fire. Period. I'm not chasing after them. I'm an independent God. I really am. I really am independent. If I want this mic to be a person, I'll make it a person. And it will submit. But since you all have tasted Satan, and you think you've got a real choice, and your children think they have too, so they tell you what to do. When you should be raising them and instructing them in the way of what's right. If you don't know what's right, seek it out. At this day and time, you got to find it. Got to. You don't even have to look that hard. So then you start employing the truth to yourself and your family and everybody that you have power and sway over. Then I will protect you. Other than that, it's already written that hell was filled up with this rebellious black man and woman. And the road to hell was crowded. You think I didn't know that? The straight and narrow path, there had a few people on it. Maybe just you and me. You know, wasn't crowded at all. So it ain't like I don't know it. I caused it to be written. Then I show up to bear witness. So I ain't running after the people because the road is crowded. And these are my people, let me go. No. I raised the man up for him to stay here 40 years to make a way for me. Elijah must first come to make a way for Allah. So if you didn't accept the law, or your parents didn't accept Elijah, and it made it possible that now you were in confusion, then, hey, I'm still here. You still have the opportunity. But if you already set in your mind, I don't see this worthy of my attention, I'm not going after you. That's why when I go to places, the minister send people in to spy on it. They come in there, see 10 people. They laugh. Well, ain't nobody listening to him. But what's happening, all the brothers in the nation is getting tapes. And ain't telling nobody. So as soon as the minister say yes, he is allowed, bam, they're over here with us. So it ain't no excuse. There is no excuse. And the messenger was raised up. I didn't send him. He was raised up. He didn't come from Mecca. He was raised up right here, San Luis, Georgia, Detroit. He was raised up, taught us the message, gave it to us. Made a way for me, meaning that he made at least a few people. When I did stand up, I had a couple people I could talk to. They understood what I was saying. All these other people come along and think they know every damn thing. I don't want to talk to you no how. Go talk to somebody else until you find out, then come talk to me. It may seem harsh, but it's the truth. And you can't outlove me. If you're with me, I'll make you really you. You come into power. For real. It's not the stuff you have in your head, whatnot. It's fantasy. And if it ain't fantasy and you got it and you ain't did nothing for yourself and your people, then you can be charged for treason. A traitor. Think about it. And the black sisters out here, they waiting on you, black man. And you got to say you're a black man, or at least a black male. They waiting. They ain't supposed to go here to you. Starts off in the Quran, I, Allah, am the best knower. And it goes on talking about this book is a guide for those who want to be guided aright. Then it goes into the second chapter of Baqarah, the heifer, or cow. That's your wife they're talking about. She comes number 2, not number 1. So they're waiting on you. While they're waiting on you not being yourself, they make you think you will never be a man. Forget that. So that's what's really happening. Yes, sir, I protect everybody that's with me. Satan cannot isolate me. He can't isolate me that way. However, he can isolate you if you give him power. If you give it to him, because he don't have no power. You remember God asked him, why do you do this to my people? He said, I ain't got no power over them. I called, they answered. It wasn't that he called on the phone or he yelled across the street. He talked to you right in your ear. Like the Quran reads, the whispering of the sly, slinking devil. He whispered right in your own head. Nobody heard him but you. And you answered. So when I come and say, why you do this? He said, you can't charge me for that. I don't have no power over them. I only whispered. And he answered. I'm not whispering. I'm talking to you face to face. This ain't a whisper. Right out, I'm speaking to everybody that hears it. Everybody get the tape. I'm speaking out. I'm not whispering. However, I do speak to you above a whisper before Satan speaks in your head. Most of the time, you don't answer that because that means that you have to make a change. It means conflict. So you let that one go and answer the second one. It might be a little bit miserable to you, but you can, you've been doing it so long. It's like a pain that you've been having so long. You just living with it now. Another question?
Just one more. You were saying about the messenger Elijah. What about the brother Farad Muhammad? Did he not proclaim himself to be Allah?
No, sir. He never proclaimed that, and nor even in the lessons. He didn't proclaim that. He proclaimed himself to be prophet. The messenger said Master Farad Muhammad was a master. However, Allah came in his person, but the master was not Allah.
Allah came in the person of
Master Farad Muhammad.
But Master Farad Muhammad was just a vessel. He's just a prophet. He was not Allah.
No, sir, he wasn't Allah. He was a vessel. However, the vessel himself, Farad Muhammad, was a master of creation. He was a master. However, he himself was not Allah. We made him a master so the entity of Allah could take his body for a short period of time and do a work that Master Farad Muhammad had no knowledge of. And when the work was completed, then the entity left and still left him a master. This is knowledge. This is the way we do things. We don't ask permission from other people whether you understand it or not. We raise the man up. Prophet Muhammad himself, Master Farad Muhammad himself, styled himself as being a prophet. That's what he called himself. You can't find nothing where it's written where he called himself Allah. The messenger always said, Allah who came in the person of Master Farad Muhammad. We give thanks and praise forever. Allah who came in his person. You've got to study. Why was it always said that way?
But that does not signify that he was Allah for a certain time period.
No, sir. He was never Allah. White folks show you like this. They show you the exorcist. Here this girl is laying on the bed. This entity is inside of her, making her do all kind of funny things. So she's on the inside, writing on her own stomach. Hell. He's telling you the truth, but the way he's telling you is a spooky way. Why can't that be done in a righteous manner? Why not? And the reason why, and listen at this. Are you listening? Yeah. I want you to listen. Here you are, suited down, bow tie, everything sharp, shoes shining. And you come home to your home, open the door, close it and lock it behind you, and take 3 steps in, and you find yourself standing in 2 feet of backed up sewage. Now, your wife is coming in with the baby behind you. It's 10 degrees below zero outside. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. The storm is so bad you can't call nobody. The phone ain't working. What you gonna do? Or are you going to say, well, let it stay here until the sun rises or the temperature rises and the phone come back on and I'll call the sewage people? Or are you going to get down and do it yourself? You get down and do it yourself. Right? All right, and now, this is the same thing and the same principle. God allowed being himself, if he's really himself and come in his fullness of his own self, before he warned everybody that he was going to do this. It's like him coming into a sewer that's been backed up. He's stepping into the pit of hell, dressed up, because he's all himself. Wouldn't it be better if he took his suit off and put on dyed garments? So when he steps into the sewage, he can halfway relate to it. He's not quite offended. He's offended, but not as much as he would be if he's all clean. You see? So Master Farad Muhammad wasn't all clean. He's half original. He got right in it. Got it?
Got it. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Walaikum salam. No disrespect to Master Prophet Muhammad. That's an illustration to show you exactly why what happened happened. You know, if I'm going to change the oil in my car, I take this off. I'm still me. I just got off I put on oily clothes or clothes that will befit what I'm doing. So that's what the new, I'm not just Allah from the original creation. I'm not that Allah. I'm completely new. I'm completely new. And if I was to allow myself to be myself all the way, the earth wouldn't be here at this time. Because I would find it to be so filthy. The first thing I would want to do is wipe away the filth, and that would be the whole planet. Poop is gone. You know, this might be a bit much to contemplate. However, it's true. You need that kind of God at this time. You shouldn't settle for anything less. I am that I am. And ain't nobody, and can't nobody take it or change it. However, I can change you all. Yes, ma'am. Walaikum salam.
The other day I was here and it was talked that only 15% of the women would be going to the hereafter or would be saved. Excuse me, I have a cold. What happens to the rest of them? And another thing I want to know, I've been hearing a lot of negative about women today. Are we that terrible?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, have you ever thought about maybe we have some terrible men behind us?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Like, for example, what do you call a man that doesn't provide for his house? He works somewhere else in the nation. Say, for example, we have a sandwich shop, and he's there 8 to 10 hours a day, and he has 6 or 7 children at home, and his wife is out working, and he's not contributing any money. Okay, does that have anything to do with a woman being unhappy, or maybe it's something a man is doing that makes him so terrible?
It could be a strain or have something to do with happiness. However, this comes from the lack of the ability of the brother to explain to his wife what he's doing and why he's doing it, why it is a must. This isn't just an ordinary problem. This is divine.
Okay,
so if he's doing a divine work. Now, this is what makes it different. Now, when you say if the woman is bad, she got a bad man behind her. Well, this black woman is bad, and the bad man behind her is white. The black man has no power. He's been stripped of power. White folks won't give him no power to be a man, so you can't charge it. The only place he can be a man is in that sandwich shop, or in the nation with me. That's a sandwich shop also, because what he's doing, he's providing a way for this to change. In the beginning, it may seem like, oh man, this is something terrible. I got to do this, I got to do that. However, this is the good part. Listen, this is the good part. Since you are dealing with me, even in the sandwich shop, we will hear things that is happening to you and what should be made, what we can do to make it better. And we will do just that. If you say, well, my husband is not bringing in any money, and we're suffering, and you don't let the proper authorities know, and if you have in this area, and you got no results, one thing everybody does have, the right, and nobody can deny you from that, is to talk directly to me. Directly to me. And you say, Brother Solomon, my family is catching hell. My husband's over that sandwich shop. He's working sun up to sundown. He ain't bringing home a dime. I can't even get a sandwich out of the place. What's going on? And I most certainly will change that. Most certainly will change that. I'm not bringing up a nation of misery. That's the good part about this. The good part.
Okay, I understand that as well. However, isn't it a man's responsibility to take care of his family and his home and his lights and his gas?
This is how he's doing this. You know, he can't take care of it the way it should be taken care of that corresponds with the time unless he does what the time requires. And it requires him to get himself together first. He can't help nobody if he can't help himself. Himself first. Now, if he goes to say, well, I'm supposed to help my wife and my family, that part has already been set for you. If you were working, you've been taken care of. It's temporary. You've been taken care of. You might say he's supposed to do it. If he was out working for, out drinking or standing on the corner or working for some company and wasn't bringing no money home, wasn't making no money, and wasn't making sure nothing was happening with you, he's wrong. However, this is the same thing that happened with white folks. When they got over here and they brought their, and I hope you listen, when they brought their woman from Europe over here, they were Europeanized. So every time he went to go do something, that he was on his back. He can't get nothing done without them reminding them of the king. So he said, look, the hell with this. I left them people so I could be independent here on this land for myself and do what the hell I please. So don't bring that to me. So this is what we're going to do, man. They ain't even tell a woman. This is what we're going to do. We're going to set aside a territory. We call it parishes. All of the counties, which will be counties, we're going to call it parishes. We're going to call the whole state Louisiana. And this is where we're going to perfect our woman here. And while we're perfecting her, all the ones that don't want to be with us don't understand what we're going to hell with them. Now, after we finish, then we will protect them in the way that we set it up to be protected. But they are not going to tell us how to do it. Here we are in the same situation. The Caucasian has got our women. They got you. Even if you're with me, they got you. Now, when the brother goes out and says, look, I got to go through this frontier. I got to bust new ground open. And the ground that I'm busting, I'm not going to be even compensated by our enemy for it, not even recognized for it. I'm going to be made to look like a fool. But baby, I got to do it. I'm doing it for my child's child. If nobody else, I'm going to do this. If it kills me, I'm going to do it. Because I'm in accord with time. The wise thing would be this. The woman said, man, my husband is really serious about this. Let me check the man that has got him thinking this way. Let me really check this. Then you say, oh man, this is happening. I don't see how it's going to happen, but I do see the severity of it and the need of it. What I'll do, I'll support you. Now, at the same time, you make sure you tell Brother Solomon, I can't do this all the time now. We got to get some kind of place where we can be together and be on a happy medium. Would you do that? Yes, baby, I'll do that. Then, when he tells me, Brother Solomon, my wife is out working. She's doing this, she's doing that. I said, well, yeah. I said, well, what is the attitude about working? Father, she don't like it, but she loves me. She says she'll do anything to make sure we're successful. As soon as he said that, I send a blessing to you. Before it gets out of his mouth, bam, you might feel, oh, baby, something happened. You don't believe it? Try me. Yeah, because you don't believe in God, you never ask for nothing. And when the things you do ask for is crazy, I can't give it to you. And you want the number. I ain't going to give you that. I ain't got it. Because you try me in the way that you should try me. If you're with your, there's nothing more that I love than a family. There's nothing more. Because if you and your husband is together and you love truth, that means you love me because I am that. I don't have it. I don't know it. I am that. So that means I have a person that now I actually can give something to, and you ain't going to treat it wrong. If I'm going to give you more than what you can take, just to see what you're going to do with it. And now you're going to search out for people that's like you so you can bless them and show them how much God is blessing you, and I'm not going to turn the stream off. Every time you think you want something, I say, oh, darling, I just thought that yesterday was here. I am God. I really am. I can't wait to serve you and many others like you if you are that way. But most of the time, when that happens, because we got some people that do that, I send them blessings. They be so happy they call me up, they're jumping up and down. Satan comes in their happiness and starts to make them think, Father didn't have nothing to do with this. I mean, hey, you deserve it. And you worked hard for that. So then you leave me out. However, I sent you so much you ride for 6 or 8 months on it. Just long enough for Satan to really confirm in your mind, I had nothing to do with it. And then just about the time you get ready to break through the wound in the 9th month, bam, he leaves you. Then you say, what happened? Hell, I ain't with Father no more. I done cussed him out and left. Satan ain't helping me. You just in a fix. Now what you got to do is just say, look, oh, Father, still the man. I'm going back to him and say, look, I've been a naughty child. I want to change my ways. If I could just touch the hem of your garment. I said, here it is.
Okay, what about the 15%? There's only 15% of the women that are going to see the hereafter, and that includes Muslims as well. That's just like picking a lottery ticket. We don't even know if anybody in here will.
Since we don't do things by the spirit of the moment, we already know how long it takes for a mind to be changed. And the thorough indoctrination of white folks, what they have done to you all as sisters, the time that the destruction is coming faster than what you can really change. Your children may make it. I'm not saying you won't. And it's not like picking a lottery ticket. It's just if you would lean to your nature, you got it made. But if you're not going to lean to it and you're going to act as though, well, you got some kind of beef with this and you're going to hold on to it, you're going to lose. And it's not that I'm not telling you. It's not that the messenger he didn't get the message towards it. It's not that it's not written in the Holy Quran. It's if you follow women, the women from hell is going to be filled up with the women. The Quran speaks this. And it was wrote before I was born, physically. So if it's not going to change. In other words, the prophecy in those spiritual writings is not a lie. Because you don't see us as being men. You're going to wait too late before you see it, and it's going to be too late. And it's not like we're going to miss you. I got a son, my 7th son. You read in the Bible about the 7 angels, 7 golden candlesticks? Well, my 7th son in the children of what I've had, not 7th son, 7th person, I've already given him, before he was born, the knowledge to know how to create another woman. So when you all refuse me, you're not going to cheat me. You'll be gone. But what I would do if I was you, forget about the 85, deal with the 15.
Last year you told me that this would be the year that I would get a glimpse at the city.
Yes, ma'am.
When will the 144,000 see the city? What about the people we have? Like I know some people in the first that are 80 some odd years old, and they're not going to live forever. Are they going to die and see the city, or are they going to see it before they die?
Well, I don't know who told you they wouldn't going to live forever. I didn't put no age limit on where I would start reversing the process of death. That depends upon the person. They could be 900 years old, like Methuselah. If they want to be a part of this, and I'm to end death, all they have to do is accept it and be for real, and they won't die.
No, what I'm saying is that since we're not ending death yet, since you haven't started ending death, and we have people that's dying every day.
But I have.
And the people that.
But I have. That's you're not listening. I have. In other words, I'm saying things. I know you. I got your point. But what I want you to understand is, I'm not a man just standing here talking to you. This is the supreme being, and I'm speaking the way the supreme being speaks. I have already started ending death already. When I sent the messenger, I raised him up. That was the beginning of it. So I'm here now. I have to do the physical part of it. So it's already happening. And as far as them being that age of when are they going to go, it could have already been happening had it not been for Minister Lewis and you all's love for him. Now, by the end of 99, beginning of 2000, it should start. I'm not taking nobody that don't want to be. By then, enough should be taking place that they see that this is for real. Then I will be able to send them in their physical bodies to this city. I'm letting you see it from a vision. It's possible that you might go in the near future, but that depends upon you. The place does exist, but that depends upon you. I can only offer. If you accept, that's one thing. If you don't accept, we made provisions for that also. And if you're a good person, you can go ahead and die and come back. And by the time you get back, everything's going to be pure, perfect. So you won't have no means of being anything other than perfect. However, I'm just saying you don't have to go. That's up to you.
Oh, well, see, I didn't know that you believe that you die and come back. I didn't know we did that.
You're using the wrong language. I said I'm the supreme being. I don't speak in belief. I don't speak in belief. That's all right. What I said, and I believe that you die and come back. I'm saying that that's what happens. However, we're living at a time now. If you must die, then die. By the time you come back, if you come back here, if you're dispatched back here on this planet, you're going to find a perfect planet. You won't be able to sin. However, you don't have to go. Go ahead.
Okay, one more question. Now I know you are Allah, but what about the original Allah that's trillions of years old? Where is his physical body? Now I'm not.
I almost said it. At this particular time, he's going to. Well, they already know anyhow. Cause just listening on the phone, they know. He's in Minnesota. That's what Minnesota means. We sewed him up there until it's time.
Okay, part two. Okay, where is the new Allah that you said would come last year? That you said there was a brother that was going to be the new Allah, and he would be James 20-some X or something. What happened to him?
That's the one I just told you about. I'm the new Allah.
127.
127.
Oh.
That's the original Allah. I'm the new Allah.
Oh, I got it mixed up. Okay. All right, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamualaikum, Father. Father, you were sharing about Italy.
Yes, sir.
And the meaning of Italian and then the meaning of Italy.
Yes, sir.
And you asked how many people in the room knew that.
Yes,
I was one of the brothers that raised his hand that I already knew that. I just wanted to let it be known that the only reason that I knew that is because you taught it.
Yes, sir.
I heard it from you first. I heard it from you.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I know, Father, that every time I see you, it seems like every time I see you, I'm thanking you for something. I want to do it again because every time I see you, so much has happened since the last time I've seen you that I have to thank you for. Everything that you just got through describing, as far as either you've given or you've caused to be given a place for us, the black man, to participate in activities that are to make us free, that are freeing us. You provided teachings and knowledge for us that are making us free in our thinking, free of the negative man's thoughts, free of everything that's to hold us back. You providing the way for the righteousness and the way to see it that brings total enjoyment to us. That is something very profound that I am participating in, that I share in, that I see every day, something new to thank you for. Just like that knowledge about Italy and Italian. You provided so much knowledge that we can go back into our tapes and always hear something new. It gives us plenty of righteousness to think on. It blocks out all the avenues for negative to come in because we're always busy. When we see this for what it's really worth, there's always something new or something for us to go back and listen to again that brings something new to our minds. And it keeps us full.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Father.
Yes, sir. Would you do something for me?
Yes, sir.
You gotta go? Oh, you around where everybody can see you? Now, he looks rather young, doesn't he? This is a brother that will admit he's mischievous. However, the way he, I want you to listen. The way he does it, you never hear me getting on Reggie. I might get on him to his face, but you don't hear me without him. I bring him up before the congregation and jump on him, just so they can see. This brother here keeps me laughing all the time. I be cracking up one time I be thinking about him. I start laughing. And look at me, like he said, he always coming up and thanking me something that he's receiving from me. Because I know in a few days he's not going to be mischievous. He's just going to be a very knowledgeable brother. You may be seated, God.
Thank you, Father.
I said back in the room was Deborah Coleman. I've been kind of sitting over there, kind of debating with my own thoughts. And
I know my husband, this is my husband sitting by this gentleman right here at the end. I had this dream last night, and I told my husband about the dream this morning, but, and the dream kind of went like this. In the dream, I was talking to two elderly ladies that I know, but I couldn't identify which face it was of the two that I knew. I couldn't identify their face. So what I dreamt about is that I was asking them about a singer by the name of Helen Baylor. I kind of got a lot of her tapes, and so I was looking at this podium thing, and I said I was asking about this one particular song that she has, "Can You Reach My Friend?" So I was telling my husband, then all of a sudden it went from that face, and then it went to this paper that was kind of bluer, but it had the word faith wrote on there in big letters. So when I told him about it, he knows I always dream. And then you made a statement earlier that the way I have heard it lately is that you said that all of us was different, and I have heard that all of us was originals, which that's how I kind of identified myself ever since I was a young person growing up. And I always had a lot of dreams. I couldn't sleep at night because I just constantly dreamed. So through my life, I would tell people, through my journey, I would tell older people, just anyone about, I dream so much I can't sleep good at night while I dream. They say, oh, well, maybe, you got something what they call prophecy, or you have this. And then I know you could dream a lot that if your life is not really complete, or it's the things that you're doing that's, like you said, not righteous, you could just be that kind of person with a conscience and to dream. But that, the last statement I just made, is not my case. So I was debating about myself. Well, my mother always told me that the question that you don't ask is a stupid question. So I finally said, well, I got to get up. And then another thing, I used to be in the military, but I got out on an honorable discharge. I had cases that I was fighting with the government, which I won too. And another one, just by coincidence, it's at the point that me and my husband just been recently talking about this. We might have to detour, just taking an enjoyable trip and go to Washington, D.C. So when you mentioned you drove here from Washington, D.C., and I said, well, I'm going to drive from Wichita to Washington, D.C., I just said something kind of connect this here, and I had to get up and ask you, because I don't know if this is a medical question I'm going to ask, or a spiritual question, but I've been wanting to ask it, even though I've been introduced to some of the everyday Christianity churches. And when you're there, if you in, like I said, the regular services, you can't get up and raise your hand and ask the pastor certain things. You have to wait and go for a Bible study and stuff like that. So I didn't see that appropriate. But I want to know that I can't understand why, if I don't have problems of, well, I have all these dreams, and sometimes I dreams and the things happen. I want to know why I can't sleep well at night, which I don't have to work, and I don't sleep well at night. I dreams a lot. So I can't, I don't want to go and ask the doctors that, because then, like you say, you have to go ask the right man, well, pay him, and he might tell you something, make you think you're crazy, or he won't tell you the truth about things. And like I said, you couldn't ask the reverends or the pastors, because it's rudely if you stand up and interrupt them in a regular service. I want to know, do you know anything about dreams? Do you have tapes on dreams? I want to know, why am I dreaming, but it's not a negative part of my life.
Well, with you specifically, you're one of the 15% that will make it. And you're highly dissatisfied. Your soul or your spirit or your entity is highly dissatisfied with what you're living, or the living conditions of people, period. You're like a person that is like saying, well, don't you all know what the truth is? But you're not in a position to make nobody do it. You're in a position where you're being made to do things that's wrong against your will. So when you sleep at night, you're never at peace. It's always you're searching in the Bible it says when you sleep, your entity goes back to God. And if you're at peace, he lets you go to sleep in peace, and he wakes you up in peace. Well, with you, you're at turmoil. You're something like Job, or female Job that's in the Bible. You're like angry with God, like saying, well, damn man, where are you? You know you can change all this. So you're never at peace. So that's why you do that. However, now you have found the system of peace. Meaning that if you actually really check this out, you know the right thing, not something, but the right thing is being done to bring an end to unrest to the righteous. So that's what you are experiencing. Once that has been settled in your mind, your dreams will go away. If you dream, you're dreaming good dreams, you'll be able to sleep.
And my husband is sitting there. If he were standing up, one thing I try to always keep is integrity and not to be a liar. The exact words what you said, I talk to him about that every day about my brothers and sisters. I don't. We kind of to ourselves. I don't socialize because people just don't want to be right. They don't want to hear the truth. He could bear. I mean, it's just amazing that you saying what you're saying, and it's not. You know, I mean, this is. I mean, I said these exact words to him, and so you just. I mean, he could stand up and for you to say it. This is my husband on the end right here, and for you to say it back to me, and we have never. I mean, this is our first time becoming encounter with each other. I've been saying this stuff for the longest, but I want to know. I mean, get this prophesize or whatever. I want to know. With me, try to be a righteous person. They say, you know, you're supposed to forsake yourself for your brother. Man, I've done that all my life. I can't. I want to sleep sometimes. But it's like I got a job to do, but I don't know what it is. Well, what do you, like you said, what you want me to do? I mean, I know you're not letting me rest because I'm not worthy of resting. What, you know, what is it? I mean.
Well, you're a person that's very spiritual. And even if you came with us in the United Nations of Islam or even went to heaven, you still would be uneasy for a while because we haven't grown to the level of which we participate in. You know, we're here. We're laying the foundation on the platform. But really, you living up here. You know, you've experienced that and you refuse to come down. If you can truly see the reason why people are there and you see that they're being set around on the ladder to actually come up, then you'll tolerate it. You know, you won't tolerate it 100%, but you will at least show some type of compassion because you know they're really going to get there. Up until now, you haven't seen anything where anybody's building anything. So it won't let you sleep at night. You're at a time, you're born and you're living at a time where you know God has got to change this. And it's almost like Dick Gregory. I'm going to fast until God do something. It's almost like you say, well, I'm not going to sleep. I'm just going to try to find out what. So that's what's been happening. And if you come to D.C., look what's up.
Would I be able to get that information before I leave?
Oh, yes, ma'am. If they don't give it to you, call me and let me know.
Okay, and another thing I would like, are they going to give me your number?
They can give you my number. They can give you the number you get in touch with me.
Okay. I mean, well, you know, I mean, something else I want to ask. Do you have tapes here today that can be purchased, or do we have to order them, or what? Because I would like to have some.
Do you have tapes to be purchased?
Okay, good. All right, well, I appreciate you talking to me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Father, I would like to know, I have a daughter who is incarcerated, and I've been talking to her, and she was listening, and then she said I frightened her with something that I shared with her. It's not appropriate at this time to send her literature because they're not letting her have it. What can I say to her?
Leave her alone. If she's incarcerated, let me deal with her. You know, a lot of times we put people in incarceration to make them be still, so that all these things on the outside that are distractions to them won't tie them up. So we make them sit. Let the battery drain down. Since they will never be still long enough for us to actually teach them anything, we put them in jail and make an outside force put order to them. So they got to get up at a certain time, they got to take a bath at a certain time, they got to eat at a certain time, they look at TV at a certain time. Everything is laid out for them and make them do that. And then they got to fight for any bits of truth or privacy while they're there. That will make them search for what's right. Now, I don't know what you told her, how you told her. It may have been something that struck her in her soul because anytime you speak of right and it frightens you, you have touched their soul. Or you have touched that entity. And the entity gets a quick flash of the real. And the first thing it does, if it's found guilty, the self-accusing spirit comes up and says, bam, and nobody can take that off you except God. Because it's not like you have offended another person. You have broken the law, the supreme law of God. Now, what have you said made her to realize that and it frightened her? Because now she ain't scared of the people in jail. She ain't scared of you. But she is frightened of God. Especially if she thinks God is going to punish her beyond her ability to accept it. So just leave it to me. I'll take care of that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have another question. We've been having people call our house and people come by and knock on our door and they want to know what happened to the bean pie. So I want to clear it up with you today that if you want the recipe for the bean pie, if it'll help me to have the people in Wichita to have a better pie, that's good with me. I don't know what happened before. They had rumors going around that I didn't want to give you the recipe for the bean pie. However, they never let me get the chance to type the recipe up to send it to you before someone came to my house the next day and said that farmer don't want it now, and he don't want nobody in the nation eating your pie anymore. That really hurt my feelings. I couldn't understand why you was that rude to me, and I've always wanted to know about that.
Well, I am independent. Don't you say I am independent. Whatever you have, you got it from me. If it's right. Whether you may not picture my face with it. If it's right, you got it from me. We allowed you to have it. And if you are with me and your husband is with me and you have something that I taste myself and say, this is good. This should be for our people. And if a hint gets back to me that you refuse to do it, and I acted on what I was told and you didn't come up to make it any different, well then what I say goes until you come and tell me, or else you call me, or you write me and say, Father, I've been unduly judged. It is not my will to hold anything back from you. You may have it. Matter of fact, here it is. I'm sending it to you. If you don't want it, then it's up to you. But here it is. Then I have to say, what you have done bears witness that you're in agreement. I have to accept it. I'm off time turning to mercy and forgiveness.
I was told that the recipe was for your personal use at your home.
Well, even at that, you can't give me nothing else other than what I've already given you. If you give it back, with your flavor to it, it makes me happy. So if you're going to give it to me, everybody should taste that pie. That pie is good. But to let you know, hey, I ain't looking for that pie. You know, it does put another notch in my belt if I can get some. But if I don't get it, I'm still going to live and be happy. What I'll do, I'll give it to somebody else. And they'll make it. Matter of fact, I got 2, 3 wives. Matter of fact, I can do it. Yes, I know how to bake the eggs and fold it. I know how to do all that. I taught them that. I know how to do all that. So if I want to do it, I can make the best and you make your pie look like a shame.
Oh, that's good.
However, why should I rob you of doing something that you can do? You know, if I built the nation myself and deprive you from participating, then you can charge me, Father. I mean, I would be with you, but you ain't got nothing for me to do. You wouldn't let me do nothing. You did everything. Right. Well, I say, I know how to do it. However, it is for you to develop yourself as being God. So look, why don't you get something started? I don't even tell you what. Why don't you get something started in Wichita? Then you call back, Father. We're getting a sandwich shop started. I said, yeah, yes, sir, Father, and so and so. And I mentioned how wired up you are, how fired up you are. I said, they get it. Well, Father, what name do you want on it? What do you think should be on it? I could answer. I could say, look, hey, put my name on it. Or put your name on it. Or put good pie on it. If I said it, that's what you would do, but I don't do that. I always say, well, what you think? If I tell you, I'm robbing you of the opportunity to think. That's why the messenger, the ones that you all 144,000, are the first. The messenger said, Allah taught him in hints and clues. Is that what he said? Yeah. He didn't come out and tell him nothing all the way up, straight out. Hints and clues. And the messenger said, now I have mastered them. So the process is still in motion. I want to know what you are doing with what I gave you. You're thinking of that. If you put together a good pie and I taste it and I say it's good, don't just give it to me, because I'm a giver. When you give it to me, I give it to everybody else. Because that's just me. I can't help it. I just give. You see? Now, if you had moved on your own, I would have already had to have made a reconciliation with you or changed it. Now you're doing it here, so I don't know what you're asking me. If you ask me, could it be done, or you would like to do it, you have the opportunity to do whatever you like.
I've just always wanted it cleared up because I never knew what you were told, and I didn't want you to have the wrong understanding.
Well, I was told that you were not going to give the recipe.
Oh, well, see, I never said that.
Well, see, this is why I say, when someone says something about you, you have a mouth.
Mm-hmm.
And if you've been listening to my case, and if you thought for one moment that I really am alive, what traps everybody up? You think I'm alive the way you think you're alive. I am not. It tells you in the scripture, I am nothing the way you think. Your thoughts is not mine. Mine are not yours. Your ways are not mine. So when you think the only thing that you know now, that this is a righteous brother, that's the best you can say. He's a righteous brother. That's the key. Righteous. Now try me in righteousness. Not technology. Try me in righteousness and see what I do. Then you will start to learn how I think. And if you come to I have classes to teach you how I think. Most people say, well, you speak in English. I'm using English words, but I'm speaking a new language because all of the words is speaking mathematics. You can't take no 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not a language. However, you can take that and use it as a language in your language. This makes it a new language to the black man because you have never thought nor spoke mathematically. So this is new.
Why do we have so many laws? We have one in Minnesota, and your law, and then we're having a new law. Why do we need that?
Well, the original law could not solve the problem of getting you to Satan or negative. So I, being the new Allah, I know how to do it. So he allowed me to have his whole universe to get rid of this Satan, and then he can have it back. And I'm going on off to my own. So I'm working for him. I'm not after his people. I'm here to perform a service to end death and the reason for death. And the reason for death is Satan or negative. Once I destroy it, get rid of it, period. Not kill it, but destroy it. My duty to the original Allah is complete. Finished. I got to go. Is that clear? Yes, ma'am. What time is it? I'll take maybe a couple more questions. Although this still is our place. I don't want y'all to get too hungry. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. I'm from America.
Walaikum salam. Oh, just a moment. Before you all leave, make sure you peruse the table. They don't have that much on it here. But peruse the table. And don't run from the collection plate. You might say, well, God, what you need with the collection plate. This is how you show what you want to do with your nation. Until I remove this money thing. And I'm doing it as we speak. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Are you familiar with Little Rock, Arkansas?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 63?
Well, not so much the temple,
Arkansas.
but the area itself.
What about Brother Royall, Farmer?
Royall Forum?
Yes, Farmer. Yes, sir. That was minister and.
I don't have any knowledge
of him. Yes, sir. Well, anyway,
I can tell you about him just from if that's his real name.
Yes, sir. Well, I grew up in Little Rock, sir, at 15, and I've been a Muslim now. I'm 40, and I was very, very ill when I came here from Little Rock. And I don't know if you're familiar with the death that's happening in Little Rock with the gang banging, and a lot of that. I'm a witness bearer against the Wharf D. Muhammad group. I'm from that circle. Yes, sir. And so, however, there has been a law protecting me.
Yes, ma'am.
And how I got that is the valley of death. I can truly say that's it itself. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
I was raised among drug dealer Muslims. Yes, sir. And I was very ill. Who tried to drug me before I came here, and it was Brother Robert 68X came to Little Rock and rescued me and brought me here at the United Nations. I've been so blessed since I've been here. I feel under the guidance of heaven.
Yes, ma'am.
And every day I'm growing. And I thank you.
Thank you. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, the father, you was talking about today about coming to that stop sign, stopping, and the police, arresting.
Yes, sir.
Like, I was a minister here in Wichita, and I was relieved because Brother James said that there was 2 complaints about me. those complaints that was given, never did come to me and say anything about it. The only time that I hear it when Brother James called me and said there's been complaints. So you had taught that if you have something against a brother, go to the brother and tell him about it.
Right.
But then not even one come and told me about nothing. The only time that I knew about it from Brother James and also Brother National Minister was called and said that they was complaining. I ain't been doing nothing here in Wichita but magnifying the idea since I've been here. And I ain't been nothing against it.
All right, well, I would suggest this. The people that do bring up the charges concerning your behavior, I always have the person that's bringing the charge and the person that's being charged together.
Yes,
in the
sir.
same place or they're on the phone at the same time.
Yes,
And
sir.
this way, we can get to the root of it.
Yes, sir.
So that's the way we deal with it. Now, if you still want that to take place, well, not, then that's the way it has to take place.
Yes, sir.
So then we can get to the root of it.
Yes, sir.
All right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, sir. With the 144,000, using the numbers and the letters, the one representing A, the first four representing D, and the second four representing D, spelling add. And after that, there's a common 3 zeros.
So you ask me what it means?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's your equation of coming with that. So I can make the numbers represent anything what I'm thinking. However, what do you think it means?
With the 3 zeros, 3 representing complete, and 0, what I came up with was spiritual, mental, and physical. We were at 0 as far as knowledge.
See, I thought you didn't know.
I didn't know if that was absolute. I was using some of the things that I've studied before I came in Islam.
But that's it.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'm creating all over again with a people that is nothing. They're nothing. So I have to put myself and add to them to make them something. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. This will be the last one.
Assalamu
Wa alaikum salam.
Let's see. I guess I had two questions, but one is pretty quick. Surah 97. This is the night of power. And it begins the night of power is better than 1,000 months. This is something I just wanted to ask you. 1,000 months is 83 years and 4 months. And I took that number and I said, well, where do I put it? I added it to 1914. I come up with 1997 after April. Does that mean, is that when you gave the message back to us?
Well, you can say that. It certainly fits. Based on the line of thinking and what you're into. However, the greatest thing that did take place in '97 was bringing the message back and making it possible for those ones that's with him to be reunited with him. Was nothing greater. So, that was the most powerful thing that has happened after that night or after that night was over with. The message being from us and then being brought back to us. So I can surely say that certainly adds up.
All right. Well, I want to thank you for helping me with my part. I was trying to bring Sister Sharon back to the messenger, and she's here now. And my whole mission when I complete that is if I can get us both into the new city. I want to thank you again. Things have been pretty rough for a while. Now I'm no longer here in Wichita. Now I'm in Springfield, Illinois, and I'm hoping I'm going to get the door open for you to come into Chicago when the time comes pretty soon.
Yes, sir. All right.
Sorry, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. I hope, real short? Short as the messenger?
This is my name.
Walaikum salam.
You say I'm attempting to get my master's electrician's license, and I just want to know, am I thinking right? You know, in view of the time zone we're living in. You've showed me so much since I've been here. I didn't know I had all these construction type of abilities. You've been having me doing carpentry, plumbing, and I'm an electrician by trade. I didn't know you had all these other things in me. So I'm shooting for this master electrician. I'm pretty close to getting it. I just want to make sure I'm not spinning my wheels. I don't know. I want to make sure my thinking is in.
No, sir. Especially, this is to be more effective in building a nation.
Yes, sir. I want to train some brothers here so we can have kind of like what they got in heaven, you know, a group here that can do things.
Go for it.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu
salam. I hope what you have heard today, that you take it to heart. Listen to it over and over. I think we brought a speed duplicator so that you can get the tape up today. Take it with you, listen to it. I am serious. I don't know how to tell you other than that I am serious.